The transmission arrived without warning, a silent ripple that spread through the electromagnetic spectrum and cleaved every screen on Earth into fragments of obsidian and starlight. At exactly 3:17 UTC on June 17, 2025, the holographic image of Emperor Taran shimmered into existence above the ruins of the Parthenon, above the smoldering crates of refugee camps, above the gleaming glass towers of financial districts. His armor was blacker than deepest space, adorned with the faint, sickly glow of alien runes. His eyes burned like dying suns. People of Earth. His voice rumbled in 1,000 tongues: Mandarin, Arabic, Portuguese, Swahili, Hindi, English, all colliding into a single bone-shaking proclamation. The new dominion of Imperium Supreme offers you one choice: submission. Lay down your arms and accept governance under our sovereignty, or face the immediate and total eradication of your world. On every continent, the response was identical: shock, disbelief, and the crackle of chaos. In New York, a lone street performer let his violin fall silent as the sky flickered. On the Great Wall of China, guards dropped their rifles and stared upward, mouths agape. In the Sahara, a convoy of aid trucks ground to a halt as the drivers huddled in prayer. Satellite feeds caught the first glimpses of unregistered warships leak, angular vessels that slipped away from the asteroid belt like predators closing in. Within 30 minutes, every national military command post was at DEFCON 1. In Moscow, generals spat curses as they hurled orders at subordinates. In Delhi, the Prime Minister's address was drowned out by the wail of air raid sirens. In Brasilia, sensors detected Tachyon emissions proof that the Empire's fleet would strike at dawn. Deep beneath the Antarctic ice. In a cavern carved by geothermal vents, the Unified Earth Defense Coalition's clandestine war council convened. A circular chamber steel-plated walls, draped with digital maps, hummed with tension. Commander Anne Vega stood at the center, her silver braid catching the hologlow as she tapped a floating display. "The Imperial ultimatum is absolute," she said, voice crisp even as her heart thundered. "They hold Mars, the asteroid belt, the moons of Jupiter and Saturn. Their birthing grounds eclipse our entire solar system in industrial might. Their message is clear: resist and you die." General Rajan Kapur of India's Strategic Command leaned forward, fists clenched. "Then is that it? We surrender our sovereignty? We become serfs under Emperor Taran? That's not a future any of us can accept." Behind him, Colonel Sofia Hernandez of the Pan American Defense Force scribbled figures on a transparent slate. "Surrender means extinction of our cultures," she agreed, voice taut with anger. "Our language, our art, our freedom gone. We will be little more than breeding grounds for their legions." Vega flicked her wrist. The schematic of Project Nightshade bloomed into view. 8 colossal warships, each 18 kilometers long, scalloped with angular superstructures and crater-black hulls. "This," she intoned, "is Earth's answer. A collective intake of breath." Kapur's eyes narrowed. "You can't be serious. We've hidden this fleet beneath the Ross Ice Shelf for decades. Construction cost half our global GDP. Activation would spark open war we might not survive." Vega's gaze was steely. "They think us frightened children. They don't know our weapon's heart. Tachyon disruptors that unravel matter at the quantum level. Gravitational tethers that can crush a dreadnought like an egg." Hernandez pointed at the map, where Dominion vessels glowed red on the edge of geostationary orbit. "They'll fire first," she said. "If we don't strike preemptively, their first strikes will shatter our command centers, blind our sensors, disable our satellites." "Project Nightshade was designed to be a last resort," Vega replied. "A gambit to save Earth when all else failed. That moment is now." Silence hung heavy for a heartbeat too long. Then Capper nodded. We activate Nightshade. But we must coordinate one misstep and we condemn ourselves. A chorus of agreement. Vega keyed a final command. Black Fleet alert. Omega. All units prepare for jump protocol. At that moment, the chamber lights dimmed, and a status feed blinked live from Polaris Station Earth's furthest outpost on the icy plains of Pluto's largest moon. The live feed showed Dominion cruisers slipping through the shadows beyond. Neptune. Their engines flared in stuttering pulses, invisible to all but the most advanced detectors. ETA to Earth. 3 hours, announced the station's commander, voice trembling. They're coming. Vega locked eyes with Hernandez and Copper. Then let us greet our guests on our terms. Earth stands united. Across the globe, as dawn broke over Tokyo and New York, the first shimmering ripples of the Black Fleet began. Their ascent. 8 void-like silhouettes emerging from the polar ice, each a silent herald of war. The Empire had demanded Earth's surrender. What they would receive in return was an iron will cloaked in darkness, ready to strike back. And so, beneath the watchful stars and a trembling sun, humanity's last gamble began. A deathly hush settled over Earth's defenses in the final moments before dawn. At 3:58 UTC, geostationary sensors detected a surge of tachyon particles, ripping through the quiet vacuum above the South Pole. On every command deck, from the Arctic Sea to the Mojave screens, trembled as the dark forms of the Black Fleet rippled into view. 8 behemoths like shards of night tearing free from the polar ice. On the bridge of the Providence, Admiral Lars Chun gripped the edge of the command console. His crew fell silent as the lead ship, its hull deeper black than any ocean trench, materialized into real space. No lights, no insignia, just a gaping void that swallowed the stars behind it. Chun's voice cut through the tension. All batteries. Lock on. Tachyon disruptors to standby. Gravitational tethers armed. Below, the Imperial flagship Astrum Rex blinked on the targeting scopes of 2 escort cruisers. Its alien officers, tall, gaunt figures in ivory armor, held steady as the Earth warships activated their defenses. But they were already too late. A ripple in space, like the aftershock of a cosmic quake, passed between the Black Fleet and the Astrum Rex, and the Dominion sensors overloaded in a shower of sparks. Point defense lasers winked out. Gravity coils spun wildly, and the flagship shuddered. Fire disruptor array, Chun ordered. 8 beams of rippling violet. Energy stabbed toward the Rex, fracturing its superstructure at the molecular level. Alarms screamed as corridors twisted, walls bubbled, and the ship ripped itself apart in silent, impossible agony. Simultaneously, each Black Fleet vessel unfurled its gravitational tethers, titanium cables braided with quantum filaments that snared nearby cruisers like cosmic laureates. The Dominion ships' hulls groaned under exotic stresses. Decks buckled, and reactor cores overloaded in cascading implosions. Bright arcs of plasma lanced across space, illuminating the abyss with brief, furious blooms of orange-white. Back on Earth, the orbital defense grid joined the fray. Railgun slugs, traveling faster than bullets, tore into disabled cruisers tumbling toward the atmosphere. Plasma cannons scorched the exteriors of stricken vessels as they breached the ionosphere, painting the dawn sky with streaks of emerald and crimson. Civilians watching live feeds across every time zone stared up in awe as the heavens became a battlefield, and the tide of war turned when the last Dominion craft fractured in a superheated flash at 4:12 UTC. A stunned silence reigned for a heartbeat. Then, worldwide, cheers erupted like synchronized fireworks. In London, people flooded Trafalgar Square, hugging strangers. In Tokyo, neon-lit billboards broadcast "We are free" in kanji and English. In Lagos, drums pounded triumph through jubilant processions. From the peaks of the Himalayas to the deserts of Australia, humanity roared its victory. On the bridge of the Providence, Admiral Chun allowed himself a weary smile. He keyed the uplink. "This is Admiral Chun to Commander Vega. The Empire's armada has been annihilated. Earth stands undefeated." Deep beneath the Andes, Anne Vega exhaled so hard her armor plates rattled. She rose from the holotable, eyes shining with relief and resolve. "We delivered Earth's answer," she murmured. "But the Dominion will regroup. They will rebuild." And high above the planet, in the silent void where once the Empire's dreadnoughts floated, a single beacon remained, a faint pulsing signal that whispered across the stars. Emperor Taran's voice, brittle with rage, crackled into every surviving channel. "You have not seen the last of us, Earth. We will return." As the Black Fleet dispersed back into the polar darkness, Vega pressed her hand over her heart. The battle was won, but the war for humanity's future had only just begun.